Welcome back to Finals. We are about to crown our first champion of the Reg F 2.0 format at Psycho Turtle here in Pico Rivera, California. I am Dennis Geisler. I am again joined by Woody Gilbertson. And we have a rematch of our round 2 stream.
Yeah, we've seen these exact
finals.
Teams
on
the screen today.
And we've seen Articuno a couple of times so far. But we have Arnie Wolf and Michael Menendez as our final matchup here. Arnie, once again, running the Fluttermane, Shenpao, Raging Bolt, Torkoal for Giraffe, and Ogerpon Hearthflame. Michael with that Alolan Ninetales, Articuno, Ogerpon Wellspring, Hisuian Arcanine, Landorus, and Raging Bolt.
Yeah, and we talked about this during round 2, that this is a Sun versus Snow matchup, and it seems like the advantage is towards Sun because Arnie can just lead it and have no fear at all of it being overwritten until a switch happens.
Yeah, and on top of that, Articuno and Ninetales individually have some issues. They don't want to take a Power Gem from Fluttermane. They don't want to take a Weather Ball from Torkoal. There's just a lot that kind of that side kind of struggles with,
right.
And so I think Michael will continue to opt towards the other 4, which I think they all have some reasonable answers towards Arnie's team. But I also think that Arnie has he's definitely spent the last couple hours or however long it's been since round 2, considering some of the lines he could tinker with into this matchup.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's any changes, any significant changes. I agree that I think we're probably going to see those same lower 4 from Michael. Especially, I think I'd like to see more use of the Hisuian Arcanine, because it has so much damage output.
I will say, I was just talking to Arnie about it, and he said that was the big thing he was scared about, is the Hisuian Arcanine.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we saw how little it took from an Eruption, and we know that it can take Thunderclap, I believe we saw earlier. Yeah. And here we go, see it right away on the lead.
Alright, I'm not gonna say what Arnie told me his plan was for turn 1, because he told me. But we'll see it momentarily.
Yeah, and from what I remember, this is a special attack boosting Fluttermane, even though it's holding those choice specs.
Yeah.
Arnie said, actually, I want more damage, sir. Waiter, please, more damage. Yeah.
Even more for Fluttermane, and
right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Fluttermane try to go for the most damage possible, quite possibly. And the thing is, there's not really anything to extreme speed for Arcanine right here, partly because of the Fluttermane being a ghost, and partly because of Armor Tail.
Yeah. A lot of things saying don't do that.
Right. But we will see for a Giraffe switch out here into Torkoal, which will set up Sun and boost the damage from the Fluttermane even further with that Photosynthesis.
You know, the fact that we didn't see a swap from Michael's side makes me think we're not seeing any other weather setters come in, even though that would be a very funny twist to the side.
We do have Terra coming through.
Yeah.
Probably the Landorus, I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah. It helps make sure that in case there's any...
mostly for the Fairy moves, mostly in case of the Dazzling Gleam. Both of these two resist the Dazzling Gleam, but this Shadow Ball, Arcanine's gone.
Yeah.
Arcanine's super gone.
Yeah, I mean... Arnie is down there spelling things out, saying, this is how I drew it up.
Torkoal will drop, but not a huge loss for Arnie there, being able to get rid of that big threat in the Arcanine, and yeah, that's exactly what Arnie said he was going to do.
Yeah. And you know, honestly, you probably aren't terribly worried about the Torkoal, like, unless Arnie gets back into a position where he has
I will say this is a little bit scary, because you no longer have the Sun.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting change-up.
I don't mind that for Michael, actually, because I don't know what was left out. I mean, we know because of the top right there. But it feels reasonable to say, okay, one of these things is not actually giving me that much. And Ninetales by itself, not a bad Pokemon. Although, important to note, this is Light Clay, so it does not take multiple hits.
Nope. And
it doesn't have Protect.
Right, so this Choice Specs Fluttermane kind of just gets to say, I would like to deal more damage, please.
Yeah.
You know, you could be worried about a Protect on the Landorus, but not on the other slot here.
Although, again, I don't know if I'm confident that without the boost that Shadow Ball actually... It might actually KO the Ninetales here, because Ninetales kind of frail. Oh, wow, actually, never mind. Special Bulk.
Yeah.
And Aurora Veil gets up.
Yeah, that'll help really deal with now. Like now, you've taken away the photosynthesis boost.
Substitute.
Yeah, you've taken away the other damage with the Aurora Veil, and now, like, yeah, the substitute here. Even though there is sound moves on this photograph that can get around that, you're steel.
That's the problem, is that it's steel type, so even the sound moves that go through it will not actually get damage through it.
Right, and I did misread that it's only one. It's just Hyper Voice. I thought I saw a Psychic noise earlier, but no.
Yeah, no, just the normal Psychic, and we'll see the Helping Hand. That look at how boosted the Substitute Doll is, the floating Substitute Doll.
Oh yeah.
See, the Hyper Voice does not take out the Ninetales because of that Aurora Veil. We'll get that Throat Spray boost.
All right. And we'll get to see, you know, on the first turn, Arnie got his big mega damage turn.
Goodbye to Flutter. Oh, wow, actually, Flutter eats that.
Yeah, it's especially bulky, and it's a ghost type still.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's with the Helping Hand, I did not expect it to take that like that.
Right. But the substitute sets up so well, because now that Trick Room's up, we saw, like, you know, the Landorus is going first, right? And so by getting the substitute up, you're saying you're not going to one-hit KO me. Right? It doesn't matter what the photograph goes for here. You cannot take care of this Landorus before it gets a chance.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're kind of losing HP on a lot of stuff here. Like, Ninetales is going to drop this turn unless it switches out. Landorus is going to take another chunk this turn. And if Fluttermane is at least... If Fluttermane goes down this turn, it's at least doable with the turns of Trick Room remaining, assuming that it's Double Giraffe as the final two that Arnie will have. That's a lot of damage, and it's reasonably plausible they'll be able to get through it. So there's the Helping Hand from the Ninetales again, because it's necessary to take out the Fluttermane at this point.
Yeah, and this... Alright, looking at this Landorus only a single target use, right?
Yeah.
Even though you would love to click Sandsphere here, right? Like, I want to pick that up and I want to get some damage on the Frograph, but yeah, now we're looking at Double Giraffe, and...
I feel like Arnie's in a great spot here, because yeah, there's the Giraffe on the other side, and the thing is, Arnie has Terra. Arnie can Terra the Raging Bolt right here, and what's gonna hit it?
Yeah, so even though the Landorus is not threatened by the Frograph, it's too slow now.
Yeah.
It's now the last thing that's going to move.
Well, and frankly, what damage is Landorus putting out even moving towards the end game, basically? Like, what... If Raging Bolt gets dealt with in reasonable amount of time between Dragon Pulse and Hyper Voice, like, if that can do it in 2, potentially, like, what's stopping...
Going crazy with the Bidoof down there.
Bidoof is absolutely moving.
Arnie is feeling himself.
Bidoof is feeling himself.
Yeah, of course.
There is the Terra for Arnie. I believe that is, in fact, the Raging Bolt. With that Bug Terra, it's been working out really well in this in this matchup specifically. Yeah, it's been getting a ton of value.
Staring down a Dragon type and a Ground type, yeah, absolutely.
Hyper Voice comes out first, little chunk to Landorus. I mean, it's running out of HP. Yeah. Dragon Pulse goes through into the Raging Bolt. And it's a 2-shot between those two. Draco Meteor, the other way, nothing.
Nope. AV Bug, nope.
Yeah, I think it actually needed to be a Snarl there, potentially. We'll see what Earth Power does. It's a good chunk, but not enough to KO. And the problem is the Raging Bolt can't really do anything. It is the last turn of Trick Room, but the Raging Bolt can't do anything about getting knocked out here other than hope damage range comes into effect. And after that point, I mean, Landorus can't beat Raging Bolt, I don't think, and that's just game.
Yeah, it is definitely looking like Michael's out here would be some shenanigans, some like critical hits.
Certainly some shenanigans. The Hyper Voice scares me a tiny bit here, but if Dragon Pulse just KOs, then it's fine. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I was worried that maybe you get into a range and maybe you wanted to use Psychic plus Dragon Pulse just to make sure you lock that down, but it's totally fine. Sludge Bomb into the Raging Bolt. No. It's damage, but it's not good damage. Trick Room is over, but one of these two moves is going to KO.
Yeah, so we got the classic pin of a priority move, like Sucker Punch, or in this case Thunderclap, and other damage. So, yeah, there is no out anymore.
Yeah, there's really nothing.
Alright, Well, we'll see how Michael adjusts going into Game 2. This is 3 games now so far against Arnie today with these teams, so has lots of trial here. Let's see if we can figure out a way.
Yeah, and it's interesting, because Arnie was able to get rid of the Arcanine on turn number 1.
Yes.
With that sun-boosted Shadow Ball. But that meant that the Landorus was able to linger around for a while. And Arnie was eventually able to deal with the Landorus, but it was kind of scary for a little bit, I will say. And I wonder if Arnie wants to try to get rid of the Landorus over the Arcanine, but obviously that's kind of scary as well, so I don't really know what the answer is here.
I wonder, looking at this from Michael's side, you've seen this, I don't really want to call it a trick play, because it's not anything too sneaky, but, switching in Sun for the boost and just saying, I'm going to maximize my damage against you. I don't care if I lose Vorpal, I'm just going to do, right now, this turn, as much damage as possible. Right, because now Michael can maybe play around with, well, what if I bait that and I swap in something, you know? The
problem is, I don't think anything can... I guess maybe Raging Bolt can switch in on it. I think that's really it.
Raging Bolt could. I have a feeling Articuno could. Very good special defense on Articuno. But I think
potentially, but again, keep in mind that, this would be with the Sun boost. And... yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'd be curious to see. I don't know what these Articunos are really trained in. I don't know if they are given a lot of extra special defense. I don't know if they're given a lot of extra bulk. I don't know if they're... I
think they're trained in one-hit KOs and freezes, from what I've been
I was going to say, I assume it's a lot of special attack, because that's kind of what you need to hit things.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, I mean, this is the Choice Specs Articuno. We've seen 3 different Articunos.
I thought we've seen choice specs from 2 of them, and then the bright powder from the last, but we're going to see Landorus and Raging Bolt this time, and that's interesting. Because that leaves a some really clean plays for Arnie in relation to Landorus, and I'm curious how Arnie wants to play that.
Yeah, he's got options, and he can once again, he's shown that he can threaten this trick of swapping in Sun and going for big damage.
And maybe Michael will go for something like a Protect here and allow Arnie to get some priority through getting the Trick Room up here.
Yeah.
Moonblast. Nice Moonblast into Raging. That's a lot of damage, actually, into Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt get the Snarl off, which is meaningful into the fur giraffe, especially with Trick Room up.
Yes.
But I think Arnie totally takes this with the Trick Room up.
Yeah, you think that's a trade in his favor?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll feel a little awkward, and I wonder if Arnie will want to... yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if Arnie wants to go for Hyper Voice here, just because... he could do that thing that he did earlier where he switches it out so that he's able to get the Throat Spray bonus later. But I think staying on the aggressive here is good. Although I do worry a little bit. I mean,
the damage?
A little bit about the damage and mostly about what about later on. Mostly. We'll see the Ninetales switch in, so it'll take a solid chunk, honestly, from Hyper Voice. Not a lot, but a chunk. And no Terra from Landorus, which is a little surprising, actually. So, yeah, a little chunk from Hyper Voice. I guess Landorus felt no need to Terra because it's not actually being threatened by a ton of damage. Sludge Bomb gets Fluttermane a little bit under half. Moonblast, that's still really good damage. It still specs Fluttermane. Hold on.
Yeah.
Landorus drops to the next Hyper Voice is the problem.
Right.
Yeah, this is very bad for Michael. It's really bad for Michael.
Yeah, I mean, this Pokemon that you're usually thinking of is fairly supportive here, giving you the Armor Tail ability, setting up triple for you. If you don't take care of it, we're getting 3 turns now, it's a threat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I especially saw when Brian Collins was running that team in the last regulation, is you can really just get this thing moving, and it doesn't get the +1 here, and no Psychic there, which is a little unfortunate. Again, I would have liked the Hyper Voice there. I would have at least done a solid chunk to Ninetales. And Ninetales going for the Raw Blizzard, missing Fur Giraffe, gets the hit onto Torkoal.
And the freeze.
And no freeze.
I think that was absolutely needed, though, and
it was the right call there. Not going for the Aurora Veil, expecting the switch in on the Torkoal. But the problem is now, what do you do about this eruption business?
And nothing on your team takes 2, and it would have to, because it's going to have to switch in, take 1, and then the next turn.
Yeah.
We are still going to be living in Trick Room for several more.
We're going to see the Landorus switch here, and also the big issue is that we know that the Ninetales can't protect.
Yes.
So there's really nothing that this team can do. So it's going to be the double switch from Michael.
You can just get out of here, and you can bring in 2 things that do resist Eruption. And
I mean, the problem is that Raging Bolt's on such low HP.
Yes.
So Raging Bolt is probably going to drop to Eruption regardless. And after that, it's a follow-up into the Arcanine, and honestly, it'll do pretty good damage.
Yeah.
There's the Eruption. Oh, wow, it doesn't KO the Raging Bolt. Okay. So the Psychic does finish off the Raging Bolt, but I thought the Psychic was going to get redirected into the Arcanine.
Yeah, that saves a lot of damage for him.
It does. It does save a lot of damage from Arcanine. And it's still not in a great spot, but you do turn off the Sun if you bring back in the Ninetales now.
Right. I don't know if that's even worth it, because, like, again, you're going to go last, and you're going to drop to Eruption, even without the Sun boost.
Probably, but I don't know. I think it's still nice to have present.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do probably just drop to Eruption, though.
I would assume so, but I think the question now is, like, without Sun, I do have a bit more faith in Arcanine to get a move off here, and that's important.
I would agree with that, but at the same time, what is Arcanine going to do that really puts it in a good spot?
I think...
Ooh, that's a little bit risky to me. That's a little bit risky to me. I want to get rid of the game. If I'm Arnie, I want to get rid of Ninetales right now, just because if I get rid of Ninetales, I don't have to worry about Aurora Veil. And I know what's on the field for the rest of the game, and I know Arcanine is locked permanently. And if you KO the Arcanine, or hope the Arcanine switches out, you could have a play here. Ooh, okay, well, Landorus is going to be gone. We're actually going to see the Terra for Michael?
Yeah.
So that's the Terra on the Ninetales. So I guess Arnie read that correctly.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why he's in finals, having lost 1 game this tournament, and we're sitting over here. Because he called out that was going to be the Terra Fire there on the Ninetales. So a nice defensive Terra, but Arnie completely ignores it. Didn't need a helping hand the Psychic there, but certainly got the KO on the Landorus that he wanted.
You can see Aurora Veil. Yep, so now it is going to be on the field for the rest of the game here, right?
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, I still think that Raging Bolt's in a pretty solid spot in the back, presumably. I mean, we still have Trick Room turns remaining, and there's no protects on... Did Trick Room just end? Am I stupid?
Just end.
Am I blind? Arnie, check the status. Press the Y button. Alright, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if I would say Michael's in a great spot, but he, like, that Flutter Mane in the back is still always going to be an issue. It's going to outspeed your team, and so, you know, you do get to click big damages right here.
Helping Hand.
Yeah.
See what Arcanine goes for.
I assume we're seeing Rock Slide?
I assume it wants to... Yeah, Rock Slide might actually be the lock here. But that's really good information for Arnie if he gets to see it. And also it could miss Farigiraf. And also it might not KO Farigiraf, honestly. It does connect, and it does not KO. But Farigiraf flinches. That is a tough flinch there.
Yeah.
Well, now we know that Rock Slide is the lock for Michael. Which is honestly not bad for Arnie, because I don't think that Rock Slide KOs... well, no, Flutter's already... Is Flutter chipped? Who's to say? I think Flutter's not chipped.
I don't think so. I think we saw it fire off, you know, the
Arnie
blast.
Pokemon. Okay, it is chipped.
Oh, okay. So swap in on... Wow.
This is bold.
Yeah. I feel like this is the one way that you beat this game, is if you just throw away...
Not necessarily, just because I think Torkoal plus Raging Bolt could get it done, but you are losing both these Pokemon right now.
Yeah, I guess you're saying, like, I want...
Unless they miss. Okay, Rock Slide double connects. Both those Pokemon drop. So it is just going to be Raging Bolt and Torkoal to try to win this, but it does mean you get the Sun up for Raging Bolt.
Right, you get that special attack boost on the photosynthesis, which will be good. You know, we've seen that Thunderclap do tremendous damage.
That's the question, is like, does Helping Hand Thunderclap just KO Arcanine this range?
I feel like we saw that exact play in round 2. I think the answer was yes.
And Aurora Veil is up, you have to keep in mind.
Then maybe the answer is no.
So, who's to say? The true answer is, who's to say? Certainly not I. I think that is still the best play for Arnie here. Is that combination of moves.
Right, because Michael's down to the last 2, right?
Michael is down to his last 2. Both these are down to their last 2 here. And Arnie could win this tournament if he's able to
the next turn or 2,
pick up if he's able to pick up a KO or 2 here. So we're gonna see Helping Hands all around. Clap, 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 clap.
Followed up by
Turtle.
Clap, clap.
How do they clap? Neither of them got hands. They got feet.
But they got soul.
Thunderclap into Arcanine doesn't
not
KO,
enough.
not enough. But will Rock Slide be enough to do much to Bolt? It does KO Torkoal. It does not KO Bolt.
Alright, so now, I mean, this Ninetales...
Does Ninetales have the sauce to take out?
I'm looking at the wrong thing. It has Blizzard and Moonblast.
Yeah, it has Blizzard and Moonblast. So Blizzard can miss, and ideally Raging Bolt Terra's here. I think Terra's still available for Arnie, right? He hasn't used it?
Correct.
So I think you Terra now that you know, now that you know that you can't be hit by Rock Slide because you're going to Thunderclap and KO.
Yeah.
And now it's just a question of how much does Raging Bolt take. It is Assault Vest. It's very specially bulky. And gotta keep in mind, Alolan Ninetales doesn't do damage.
Right, but Alolan Ninetales has plenty of Veil, right? It's got the light.
Yeah, it does have plenty of Veil remaining.
So I don't think it needs to KO this turn. I think it has.
It does not need to KO this turn, but like how many turns does it need?
That was
There's
40
one,
damage. So it needs 2 more.
It needs 2 more.
I think Michael's got this. I don't
Critter
think...
Para?
Okay, those are the outs, yeah, but I think...
Blizzard. And it doesn't KO. It does about the same as Moonblast. That's a lot of damage. And it got the Para! Oh, there's the Para. You can see Arnie's pretty excited about that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, do you think that Raging Bolt is faster than Ninetales now? It's gotta be, right? You can see Arnie doing the math in his head right now.
I think so.
He's gonna check the stats.
96, so 190.
It's gotta be faster.
No, it is faster, yeah.
Okay, and it is faster, and with that Para, it might not have been necessary. The Thunderclap might have gotten it done anyways. But Arnie Wolf picks up the 2-0 victory. Another very close game 2 against Michael.
Yeah.
And that'll mean Arnie Wolf is our first champion of Reg F.
Setting the bar right there, saying, hey, this is how good you gotta be.
And I mean... We've seen Arnie win tournaments here before, and Arnie's such a great player. But this is also a really good team that he's working with. And it's weird because you look at the team and you go, oh, Fluttermane, Ogerpon Hearthflame, Chen Pao, and then there's like a Raging Bolt for damage and Torkoal to set up the Sun for them. And it's like, okay, I see it's like, oh, it's like a damage team. It wants to get a lot of damage down. But then he plays around the Farigiraf and the Torkoal and the Raging Bolt and uses the Chen Pao and the Fluttermane to get Trick Room set up for those Pokemon. And it's such a difficult team to play around because there are so many things you have to be worried about getting hit with.
We've seen him do a lot with this team, even though it looks not that involved. He does so much with it, plays it so well, as we've seen.
Yeah. I want to see him. Hey, Arnie. You want to do an interview? Yeah,
I'll swap out.
I'll see if we can do a winner interview for interview. Thank you, Woody, for joining us today.
It's been a joy.